Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special edition of COVID Conversations. And tonight, in about a minute or so, um, just about a minute or two or so, we're going to have Senator Chuck Schumer on. And there's so much going on tonight. There's the debate. You're going to watch the debate. I'm going to. Are you going to participate in this process? I'm going to. And it's going to be an interesting debate, the last debate, the very, very last debate of this presidential cycle. So I want you guys to sit back, and I think I will be back. They said that Senator Schumer had a vote. He'll be 1 or 2 minutes late, so he's coming on. Let me see. Maybe I'll stick around. I'll stick around. And I'll stick around and just wait for the senator to come on. And let me see, I don't have my glasses on right now. But it is hello, everyone. How are you on this wonderful evening? I tell you, there's so much going on. We've got issues of COVID. We've got the debate. We've got what's happening with SCOTUS. Amy Coney Barrett. April, where is Pence? Pence is at the White House, I guess. We saw former President Obama yesterday. What did you think of that? I was screaming like I was in church. Felt like I was jumping over a pew. I was like, tell it, you see us. And that's the thing in politics. People feel like they have to be seen. People want to be seen. And that's one of the reasons why Joe Biden speaks when he addresses people. And I think I'm getting a doorbell ring from someone over on the Hill by the name of Senator Chuck Schumer. And it says, I'm waiting for Senator Chuck Schumer. Senator Schumer, press the button. I'm waiting for you. There he is. It's connecting.
Hi, April.
Hello, sir. How are you?
How are you? Good to see you.
Great to see you come at a time where there's a slow
Not
news
much
day.
going on.
Nothing's going on.
Nothing.
So,
Dullsville.
So we have a few minutes. So what I want to do, I want to jump right in. First of all, what are you expecting tonight with this last presidential debate?
Well, if past is prologue, as they say, Donald Trump will be nasty. He will not answer any of the questions. He will try to duck it. The rumor is he'll pick on Hunter Biden, which isn't getting him anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom line is Donald Trump has been an awful president. If you would have, President Obama yesterday, who was very measured and mild-mannered, but he really went after him. I never heard the president use the word lying as referring to this president. Now, we know he's a liar, April. We know it. But Obama never says that. I've talked to the president, President Obama. He is so upset about the state of the nation under Donald Trump that he is going beyond what he has ever done politically since he's left the presidency. But what he expects, what we all expect, is Trump will be nasty, he will be lying, he won't answer the facts, and most of all, America's hurting, April. We have over 220,000 people dead. We have millions who get sick. We have millions out of work, people who can't feed their kids, people getting kicked out of their homes because they can't pay the rent, losing their jobs, losing their small businesses. And this president has done nothing to help them. In fact, all he does is play games and call names. So that's what I expect out of him tonight. And
use Russian conspiracy theories and bot information and misinformation. That's what we're expecting tonight.
We had a resolution on the floor today to punish Russia if they interfere in the election. Senator Van Hollen of Maryland did it. The Republicans opposed it. The amazing thing is even these Republicans who, when Obama was president, were big hawks on Russia. Now that Trump just, bows down before Putin, they all follow his lead.
And that was today.
Just today, just a few hours ago here in the Senate, we wanted this resolution to be voted on that says punish Russia when they interfere in the election. Severe economic sanctions, which is hitting them where they hurt. Republicans said no.
So basically, bottom line is that the Republicans are not trying to stop voter suppression, because what we do know is that the Russian bots and the Russian interference did scramble the vote, made people confused, and it was part of
Everyone believes, or I believe, that Trump is in cahoots with Putin in a whole lot of different ways. Now we just determined that he has a the New York Times, when they showed his tax returns, showed he had a bank account in Russia. Lord knows what that's about. And so, yeah, I think that, if you look at Trump's actions in regard to Putin, our number one enemy, it wouldn't be unfair to think Putin's got the goods on this guy and he just goes along. But so Putin tries to interfere in the election. The only good news is 2 years ago, when Russia tried to interfere, our NSA, using cyber warfare, was able to handle it. And I hope those guys will do it again. I met with some of them and I said, you've got to be firm and you can't let Trump stop you from doing this. This is about America. Because, hey, April, if we lose faith in our elections, if we think they're fixed by a foreign power or by anyone else, Lord knows the future of this country.
So since we're talking about action that's happening in the Senate today, let's talk about the latest on the stimulus package with COVID. How far off are you? Is it Mitch McConnell and the White House playing games, or will there be a compromise to get something done?
Well, we desperately need a package because people are hurting so badly throughout the country, in my city and state and throughout the country. So we want a package. We are fighting for it, Nancy and I. Mnuchin, as Treasury Secretary, tries to come close to some agreement, and guess who pulls the rug out from under him? Either Trump, because one day Trump says one thing and one day Trump says another, but the real culprit here, the real evil man, is McConnell. McConnell is undercutting any chance to get a bill, any chance at all. He has 20 senators. These are hard right-wing senators that are in the grips of these handful of wealthy, greedy, vicious almost people who control the Republican Party. And they don't want any done. 20 senators say no money at all. Here we have the greatest economic crisis since the Great Depression, the greatest healthcare crisis since the Spanish pandemic, and these guys are saying not a thin dime. So they're the ones really scuttling it. Now, if Mnuchin breaks free and comes to a deal, what will Trump say? Lord knows, this man is so erratic. And even if he does, McConnell has said he doesn't want to handle it till after the election. They caught him saying that. So we get the majority. If God willing, Biden's president and I become majority leader, which means we have a majority of Dems in the Senate, we'll get a COVID done bill real fast, and we'll do it retroactively. But I'd rather do it now.
People can't wait. People need their money now.
Exactly.
People can't wait. Now, so once again, I want to get back to this. The president says he wants to go big. What's the difference, the money, the dollar figure for going big versus what the Democrats originally
Well, you
had?
never know, because when Nancy says to Mnuchin, tell us some specifics of what you want, they never really get an answer. So like they agreed, they say, well, we should do testing. We need testing. We need tracing. We need to fight this virus.
And the president doesn't want that anymore.
No, he says no. Then, so Mnuchin sits there and negotiates with Nancy, and then she goes home and reads on the Twitter, oh, we're not doing that Trump says. That's the problem here. It's a real dilemma, and it's all the Republicans who are in such a mess that Trump is erratic, and the Republican Senate is vehemently opposed to getting anything done.
And the people are hurting.
Can you believe this, April? This is 2020, a great, huge crisis. People are suffering, and they don't want to do anything. And you know what the answer is, folks? VOTE. Vote, vote, vote. Vote him out of office.
And tonight, we know, I had a pre-debate call with the Biden camp. They're going to have business owners from Durham, North Carolina, a battleground state. Business owners who are impacted, hurt by COVID. And they represent so many people across this nation. People are crying out. And I mean, not just being a reporter, but humanity's sake.
Exactly. Look, I know people who've died. You do. We know, my father was a small businessman. He struggled. I know how small business, he had a crummy little exterminating business. I know how these business people are struggling. And what about a family, a father, a mom, loses their job for no fault of their own, they can't feed their kids? I mean, what anguish.
The private sector.
I don't care what party you are, you should be wanting to help people. That's government's job, to help people when they have trouble.
Yeah, it's not about politics. Politics is not party. It's about people, which means humanity. And the private sector is really what fuels the economy, correct? The private business, private sector. So we're talking about the debate. Let's talk about this big issue. The next Supreme Court justice, that looks like it's going to be Amy Coney Barrett.
She is so far to the right that they could never, her ideas could never pass the Congress. So the right wing that runs the Republican Party, these rich, greedy people I mentioned, their goal has always been to have the courts stacked in their favor. And let me tell you, for instance, healthcare. We have 130 million Americans who have what's called a pre-existing condition. It could be diabetes, it could be asthma, it could be heart disease, it could be anything. And right now, under Obamacare, ACA, the insurance company cannot kick you off because someone has a pre-existing condition. They must insure you. This would go away. And Amy Coney Barrett has said she wants it gone. She said it was wrongly decided. That alone is enough to knock her out. What about voting rights? This court, the right-wing court under Roberts, has taken out, has defanged the toughest part of the Voting Rights Act. Roberts said there's no more racism, and so we should do it. The next year, 20 states passed laws that made it harder for people of color to vote, that made it harder for poor people to vote. North Carolina, these guys had such you-know-whats. I don't want to say it on your nice show. It's a very fine show. They had such you-know-whats, they actually wrote in their emails, let's prevent more black people from voting. They said that in North Carolina.
But look at what's happening. Look at what's happening in California. Look, they're putting fake ballot boxes out. Look at what's happening all across the country. And when Senator Schumer is talking about voting rights, they gutted pre-clearance in 2013, Shelby versus Holder. And we're now voting without the full protections of the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
Isn't it despicable? As bad as the Russians interfering in our elections, which we talked about.
Yes.
When the Republicans make it harder for people to vote. Do you know the law in Alabama? Let's say you're an old person, you can't get to the polls, you want to vote by absentee ballot. You have to have a notary come to your house and sign that you signed your affidavit. That's done to prevent poor people and people of color from voting.
And over 41 million people early voted. That is
well, that's the good news. The good news here, amidst this gloom and doom, April, people are really turning out to vote across the country. And if we turn out in record numbers, all of us who feel Trump is doing a bad job, all of us who feel we need COVID relief, all of us who feel the government's got to be fairer to minority communities, we will win. We will win big. And Biden will be president, Pelosi will stay as speaker, I'll become majority leader. And let me tell you, then we got to get a lot done. We've got to get a massive infrastructure bill done. We've got to wire everyone for broadband. We need more help for schools and jobs. We need to deal with racial justice in policing. We have so many things we have to do, and we'll get a lot done. That's my pledge to everyone.
So, and you're saying we'll get a lot done, but a pollster, Cornell Belcher from Brilliant Corners, Democratic strategist, said that the only way Joe Biden wins is if every vote is counted, meaning you have to track your ballot, right?
And we are working on that. We have some lawyers going to lots of different courts. By the way, here's some good news too amidst all this bad news. Even the Republican judges have sided with our lawyers in making it easier to vote. They just had a case in North Carolina they won. They had a case in Pennsylvania they won. So we are going to court, and we're working on every plan to make sure every vote is counted. But I want to say this to people. If Trump tries to say on election night he won, there are going to be tens of millions of ballots that came in by mail that will be counted in the next few days after the election.
Hillary Clinton
a lot of those are going to be Democratic. We cannot listen to him. We cannot let him try to steal this.
Hillary Clinton already told Biden, do not concede no matter what. So
correct. I don't think they were tough enough in 2000 with the Bush v. Gore, and we got to be real tough now.
Now, and I want to get back to Amy Coney Barrett. You tried to send everyone home. You said it's time to go home, and it didn't happen. So next week she could wind up getting a full vote.
We boycotted the markup today. The rules are you're supposed to have two of the minority party show up. No one did, and they still steamrolled over. They don't care about the rules. And one of the biggest hypocrites in the history of America, I hate to say it, is Mitch McConnell. When they nominated Merrick Garland, it was 8 months before the election. He said, we're going to wait because there's an election in 8 months and let the public decide. Now they nominated someone a few weeks before the election, and they say, let's go right ahead with it. Frauds, phonies, hypocrites. That's what they are.
Do you believe that the court should expand? They should expand the numbers?
It's something that'll be, as I've said when people have asked me, first we got to win the majority, and then everything will be on the table.
Everything is on the table. With that said, and one more thing. People are asking me, what do you think about Lindsey Graham versus Jamie Harris.
I'm supporting Jamie Harrison. He has run one of the best campaigns every day. Cornell Belcher, you mentioned him. He's his pollster from a group called Brilliant Corners. They send us the day-to-day tracking, the polling each day.
Too close
It
to
is
call right now.
too close to call. Even Steven, South Carolinians, get out there and vote. Please help Jamie Harrison. He'll be a great senator. I love the guy.
But if Jamie knocks out Lindsey Graham, that's huge.
Huge. And by the way, we can set another first in Georgia. I recruited somebody named Raphael Warnock. He's the
Reverend Raphael Warnock, yes.
He's the pastor of the Ebenezer Baptist Church, which was MLK's old pulpit. The man is brilliant, and he's in first place to win in Georgia. So Georgians, get out there and vote too.
Senator,
not that if you're in another state you shouldn't vote. I'm just, these are close races.
Senator Schumer, it's always a pleasure to have you.
April.
I know we only have 15 minutes, but give us something before we leave. Give us
What
something.
we're going to do is we can change it. We can win America back. We can kick Trump out. We can make sure that we get the Senate and keep the House, and then we start doing the things that President Obama began and help people who need help, have the government help middle class and poor people live better lives, make your life easier in a real way.
And one last thing, if Trump is voted out, are you fearful that there will be retaliation from those who listen to him?
Well, the military, here's an interesting thing. The military, they're hardly a bunch of liberals, most of them, but they really don't like Trump because they see, the military has had a credo, always stay out of politics, ever since George Washington told the troops, don't get involved. And they teach it at West Point, they teach it at the Air Force Academy, Naval, and yet Trump has tried to make it political. And so they don't like him. And my view is if he tries to do something, I'll bet the military will prevent him from doing something extra legal. That's my bet.
We shall see.
I hope he won't. And if we win by a lot, he can't do anything. We win Florida big that first few hours. We win all these Pennsylvania and Wisconsin quickly. Trump will be stuck. It's only if it's close he can play his shenanigans.
Yeah, you got every swing state except for Texas and Ohio right now. So
correct.
We shall see. Sir, it is always a blessing.
April, you're the greatest. If we weren't in COVID and we weren't far away virtually, let me give you a virtual hug.
I give you a virtual hug too. We're physically distant but socially connected, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks, April.
New York's finest, Senator Chuck Schumer. God bless. Keep fighting, sir. We need you. Be well.
You too.
Guys, we just heard from Senator Chuck Schumer. You heard it right here. Take that and run with it. Go tell everybody we're getting ready to post this. This is a moment. This is a moment that we never thought we'd ever see. A very critical moment. We're on the precipice of change, one way or the other. But what I will tell you is if you have not gone to the polls, go and vote early. Get your ballot. Track that ballot. Make sure that ballot gets to its proper place. Cornell Belcher, Brilliant Corner, said the only way that Joe Biden will win is if indeed every vote is counted. Make sure your vote is accepted, it is legal, and it's in the right space. Because if not, you're going to have to go November 3rd to the polls. So, and if you go to the polls, have a plan. Wear your mask, your hazmat suit, take your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and get a seat. It makes no sense that in 2020 we have to sit around for hours to vote. But you know what? You're going to vote like your life depends on it, because it does. With that said, I will see you in a half an hour. I've got the great Eric Benet coming up. Oh, just a few hours before this last debate. It's fight night. Oh, I'm not talking about Tyson and Holyfield. I'm talking about Biden and Trump. So, guys, I will see you in a half an hour. Tune in, because Eric and I are going to talk. We're going to talk politics. We're going to talk music. But we're going to talk about this, these entertainers that are Trumpian. Ooh, I didn't tell anybody that, did I? I'll see you in a few minutes. Talk to you soon. Bye.